Mexico, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, GuMPers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria, the Munsons here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. And you may well have been able to hear Mrs. M saying, am I muted or not? Can people? I don't know what you said there, Mrs. M. You're okay. And you were muted. Now I'm putting your fader up. It was up when it shouldn't have been, and it was down when it should have been. So
isn't that always the way?
In the first thing in the morning, yeah. How are you this morning? Been busy yesterday. I think it was a busy old evening last night, wasn't it? And we're talking about booze today. I don't really fancy anything right now.
No, nor do I.
A bit like, not never again, and not, I could do with a little cafe con chirino this morning. More like, it's okay, I'll wait till later on in the day today. Because we had a few nice glasses of red wine at the meetup yesterday. That was very nice, wasn't it? Very convivial.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was very nice indeed.
Yeah, enjoyed that a great deal. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the San Martin de Porto meetup yesterday.
Do you know, it's really weird because, like, for a long time, I've really not drunk alcohol, have I? You know, I was.
You're off and on, aren't you?
Yeah, but mostly off. But at the moment, I'm going through a really on phase.
That's a really nice way of putting it, isn't it? Okay, Darren, how about a nice Irish? Okay, yeah.
That sounds nice. I'm definitely in an on phase.
Pushovers. Morning to you, Darren. Thank you for being here. Thank you to you, Darren. Also, let me just say, I got a little roll call here of wonderful people I want to say thank you to. Supporters of the show, including you, Darren. Thank you so much to Karen, Andy, John, Pam, Jeff, Phil, Lady K, Amy, and Banana Slug, of course, and Jean and T-Duck for everything you do. So thank you. Just let's start with the gratitude. Let's start with an attitude of gratitude, which is what I was talking about to Milan yesterday. Oh, I need to put us around the other way on the screen so that we can look at each other. Ant and Deck warning there for you, Darren, that you pointed out the other day. And you're here for the wine tasting. Did you see it on Monday? We had a great time. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's Thursday already now, isn't it? But, on Monday, the wine quiz was a lot of fun, and the wine tasting, our Christmas party, was really good. So the next one will be the first Monday in January, which will be, I think that's the second. That again might be a don't really fancy it after all the Christmas success, but I think we'll probably be okay.
I think I'm going into my spirit phase at the moment rather than wine.
You don't mean like spirit animals either, do you? You mean like
no,
booze?
I mean like booze. Like
is that why there was a glass of brandy next to the bed last night? Yeah. It was like, I thought there was an aircraft refueling near the house. I was thinking, what is that? What is that? Whew, blimey, that's quite. All the children are like, because they could smell the fumes of your brandy last night. So tell us about your spirit phase.
Do you know, and it's not really brandy. I just want this feeling of richness and sweetness and cream at the moment. So I really actually think Darren's suggestion of a nice Irish cream liqueur. Wow, it's been ages. Or something. I mean, obviously, I love port. Maybe a nice.
Why, obviously?
Because it's sweet and kind of warming. You know, I'm really wanting these kind of sensations in my body. These sensations of ease and luxury and joy,
which alcohol brings about.
No, obviously, alcohol doesn't. But in that moment, you feel very. I don't know. There's something very sort of sensual going on in my body at the minute. So.
And it's not me.
No, okay, well, not sometimes maybe.
Born the Ugly GuMPers at 7:45 this morning.
Everyone's like.
Deep thought to come from you, from Mary Teresa Bojajou.
What?
I don't know how to say that, Bougie, but it reminds me of Mr. Bouja Bouja. Do you remember those chocolates? Bouja Bouja.
Oh,
they're a blast in the past.
They are that kind of feeling that I'm trying to create in myself at the minute.
This Christmas.
Okay? I can't actually see this quote. I'm kind of pleased because you normally force me to read them. But
you can do the Portuguese saying today, which is not about. It's more about milk than alcohol. Hugo Nunu. Do I have to explain that again? No.
It makes no sense. It only makes sense to your
GuMPers.
GuMPers. That's it.
Leave it. My GuMPers. You're distancing yourself from us and our dad
Only
jokes.
because I don't understand the Huganunu. I can't even say it properly.
Huganunu.
Huganunu. I mean, it sounds like some kind of new clothing brand or something.
Huganunu. A bit like Uniqlo. Yes, I see.
Do you know what? You can make everything sound like it's a luxury item when you go. Huganunu.
Huganunu in Portugal.
See.
Yeah. Coach Turner's in.
Coach
Turner's in and squatting already.
Is he?
Don't bend from the hips, he says. Ooh, matron. Anna Olsen, thank you, Anna. You're going to be on our. Oh, yeah. I will need to open the advent calendar this morning as well. That's Bill and Marcus's advent calendar opening. And who doesn't like an advent calendar opening first thing in the morning? That is exactly what we do. And Anna, you'll be tomorrow with your wonderful video. Thank you very much. And we'll have some nice video from San Martino de Porto because we found out yesterday, didn't we, that they're turning the lights on the 17th of December.
Yes. So we'll have to do the. How are you going to manage the advent calendar at the weekends?
The show must go on. I will not be not doing anything because it's the weekend.
Okay.
What do you think? I'm some kind of lightweight?
No, I'm just checking. You know, I'm here to. I'm like your guide by the side.
You're
That's
my
what
conscience.
I think.
The guide by the side.
I'm the guide by the side.
Wing woman.
Yeah, I'm your wing woman. Always.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, gotcha.
You know, and if I see a glaring like, ooh. You know, you hadn't thought that one out.
You were anticipating a glaring omission there, weren't you?
I was.
So keep them. Don't think because it's the weekend you don't need to send in your Christmas videos.
Yeah, please keep sending.
Not unlike this one. We'll come back to Anna, to James, Darren. We've already said hello to. Mehmet, good morning to you. How lovely to see you in this environment as well. With the morning, y'all. Yes, easing his way in beside the Americans there with the morning, y'all. And the Saudade life. That makes me sigh just saying that. Is it you, the Saudade life? Who are you? Forgive me, Saudade
Who
life.
am I?
No, not you.
Oh.
I know. Well, do we really know who we are?
I was a bit defensive there, wasn't I?
You were a little bit after all this time. You see, but 11 years isn't that long in the scheme of
it's 12
almost. Even 12 is not that much time.
Yeah, it's not,
in the grand scheme of humanity, is it? Or even pre-humanity as well. So I think we're still getting to know each other. Feel a song coming on. Deagle's here as well.
Do you know the cynic in me?
The
cynic in me was just thinking you're saying that so that every time you forget something, or
do you know what I'd like to do to that cynic inside you?
Love it better.
Yeah, that's not what I was going to say, but yeah, that is the right answer. OLP, you're here this morning. Great to see you. We'll come back to each and every one of your individual greetings. Lord Gilchrist is here. How is Lisbon this morning? There's some severe weather warnings. I haven't taken the dogs out this morning. It is peeing down here on the Silver Coast.
Really, really.
Do
you know, it reminds me of one of those Balinese. Did I tell you I lived in Bali?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like a monsoon. Like
monsoon
a monsoon. It feels very. It's like thick.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Mary's here as well. I think you're bringing new people here, Mrs. M.
Really?
Yeah. Tired of my face and being here every morning. Blah blah. GuMPer. Oh, thank God that woman's on as well with him, just lightening the mood. So Mary, good to see you here this morning. Paul Richards as well, and Jean so far in this morning. We'll come back to your comments. We need to open the Advent window, and we need to play a little video of yours.
Yeah.
I don't mean little in any.
And it's not me either. It's
Well, you did the interview, didn't you? Let's face it. So let us play that in just a moment as well, because that's why you've been part of the reason why you've been so blooming busy.
Yeah.
Let's play the video from Bill and Marcus this morning. Then might have a look at the papers to see how that flooding is going in the Algarve and whether that's affected anybody in Lisbon. If it's affected you, or if you've got photos, do send them in of these. What seems to me to be very unusual weather. The rain seems. I mean, we want a little bit of rain. Like with the emphasis on a little bit, we want some rain in Portugal, but this is really going on in quite an extraordinary way at the moment. Anyway, let's change that, pock and pod that, shall we, with Bill and Marcus's Christmas greeting. Big gangster, isn't it?
It's really cool. We're not having a pig.
As Bill said to Marcus.
There we go.
Oh. Polish festivals from our house to yours. There you go.
That's lovely.
Ba-da-bum.
That's got such a lovely warm feeling to it. It's
Proper
lovely.
job there, boys. Very good.
Well done. Nicely decorated.
Did I step into an anti-alcohol? I can't even say it. Alcoholics Anonymous group. Not yet. That'll probably come later. I think this morning. So thank you very much, Bill and Marcus.
It is quite unusual actually, because we're not really known as being boozers. Anyone that's known us a long time will know that.
Well, I was off it for a long time, wasn't I?
Yeah, and me as well. And yeah,
possibly creating the wrong impression this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's going on at the moment is it's just an interesting experience to be sort of different.
Well, it's Christmas seasonal, isn't it?
Yeah,
to have a little bit of a bit of a snifter.
But I mean, like I've had loads of Christmases, and we've had loads of Christmases where we've not drunk at all.
Have we?
Yeah. Well, like 2 Christmases.
You think you'd remember those if you weren't drinking at all? I don't remember those.
Well, most of my Christmases with you have been dry.
Dry. What it sounds like is it's so difficult to find some sort of happy medium here. In this.
No, I think a lot of people have that happy medium, but I don't. I'm really either on it or not.
Would you say, this saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything?
Yeah.
Are you like that in life?
I would say. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm either like charge, go, let's do this, or I'm very much like, no.
Yep. Yes, I know. I've noticed that. You're right. Now, Bill is in the lavatory there. A rather intimate picture, but this goes with the caption, Marcus. We're drying out at Casa de Lomba, and yeah, your wonderful Instagram. Is it site, platform, listing? Your Insta. That's how I refer to it. Is on the advent calendar, and there are many beautiful pictures of where you live there at Casa de Lomba. And it was raining cats and dogs last night, so maybe Bill is abluting with umbrella erected. This morning, so it's been pretty wet, I think, all around the country.
I want to ask, where did you get your shower curtain from? That is really nice.
The Portuguese really tile inspired shower curtain,
but it's a bit more than a Portuguese tile, isn't it? It's got sort of hints of gold and deep ochre and amber.
Yeah, they've got great.
I love the vividness of that turquoise. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, agreed.
I love it.
Oh yes, thank you very much. Well, good luck to you in central Portugal then. Raining cats and dogs, gatos e cães over there, cães. And we have Philomena with us tomorrow for a bit of
Philomena Friday.
She'll be with us tomorrow talking about Christmas. And we actually, if you want to find out what a moist Christmas is, which is what it's looking like, as Lord Gilchrist is suggesting, we can ask. I want to see the look on Philomena's face when I ask her, Philomena, what is a moist Christmas? I mean, the translation, not the experience, of course. And she will look at me in that way that she looks at me, I think, at that point. There's
the teacher look. The teacher look.
Yes, Gilda Pereira's got a certain look for me. Philomena's got a look for me. I think Jenny B and you all. What is what is it that elicits that look? Rugby Colin, no relation to Mary Collin, had a day in Cascais. Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, had a day in Cascais with Seth. A day, never driven in. Have they instigated the anal probes at Seth yet?
I hope not.
Had a day. Maybe that's why I was there all day. Had a day in Cascais with Seth. Never driven in such bad weather here in our 18 years. You see, there's definitely something a little bit unusual going on with the weather. Yeah, Carlos M, our favourite scientist, is here as well. Bon dia todos, and Darren there with Christmas. Look, simple Christmas emojis. Why write when you can just put pictures up?
That's nice.
What's happening to humanity? Christmas spirit filling the air at GMP. Absolutely. Someone's got to do it, haven't they? Oh, a shout out for Madeira. Makes a cream liqueur that is lovely. So maybe when Cátia Lima joins us with the lesser known booze of Portugal, that might be one of her recommendations.
That sounds wonderful.
Victoria here now as well. Good morning to you, Victoria, from cloudy Portimao, similar down there as well. We try, says Marcus, to buy local, but the shower curtain is from Amazon, Spain. It's fairly local. And bon dia from Sarah as well. Good morning to you, the GuMPer map creator. Now, as I was looking at some of Susie's pictures in Canada, I was thinking it'd be lovely to have a world map, a GuMPer world map with all the GuMPers on. And
that's a fantastic idea.
I think we can extend our GuMPer map to do that, and have that particular view. Shuva guarda erectus. It's a bit like one of the characters with Maximus, I think, again, isn't it? I am Spartacus. Well, get you. I'm Erecticus over here at the back. I am Erecticus. No, clearly, sir.
So it's like Gladiator and
Carry On Gladiator.
Carry On Gladiator.
I am Erecticus. I can see that, soldier. Good morning, GuMPers. Oh, Jim McDonald is here. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Hey, Jim.
It'd be lovely to talk to you on the show one morning, but lovely to have you here watching Jim this morning. Gray and chilly and Tavira as well. Incredible, isn't it? And a picture speaks 1,000 words. That's why we love the emojis and the emoticons, isn't it? Okay, give us a bit of context. The skinny, is that what people say on the video we're about to play, Mrs. M?
If it's my video,
yes.
then it's a little segment from a lovely conversation that I had with Lonnie McLaughlin, who is our friend that we met in.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he came to visit us last year, actually. I thought it was in 2019, but it's 2021.
Seriously?
It's only a year.
A lot has happened in that time.
But we've regularly caught up with him. He's a great guy. And so I had this lovely conversation with him. And he was talking to me about his move to Portugal. He's been here over a year now. And I think in this clip, he was really talking about, why are you here?
The big questions.
And the very big question that comes up at the end, which I think we've all experienced. And tell us if you've had these moments too. You'll find out in a sec.
Ooh, the big question at the end. Can't wait.
Well, how you might fill your life.
Well, I've watched people since being here. I've met many expats here, immigrants here. Most of the ones I know are from the US or the UK, but I've watched the spaces they go through. And, it's not unlike the 7 stages of grief. I've watched people go through these spaces, and I try to be a partner, not a watch out. It's not my job to interrupt somebody's process, but you can't move here with an intention of living here and not disrupt yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't mean your physicality or your household or all that. Yes, there's all that. And then all that stuff's in a certain way a big pain in the ass. But almost nobody confronts, in my view, what are they coming here for? Really, what are you coming here for? And I've watched people bump into themselves and not like what they discovered. Like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Say, wherever you go,
I suspect.
Language, Lonnie.
And so that's to be released tonight. So just to give you a bit of context, when he's talking about the process and disruption patterns and stuff, he's coming at it because he's a coach, and he's a top coach that's coached over how many years? He's been doing it for over 30 years, and he's coached over, well, I don't know how many, but over thousands. I think is it like 10,000 or 20? He's coached an incredible amount of people.
He's reached hundreds of thousands of people through coaching.
Yeah, in seminars and things like that. He
and it's true. He does look a little bit like David Letterman. As Francis pointing out.
Yeah, and but he talking about the disruption process. When you move to another country, there is a disruption process, whether you like it or not. Some people do come and they try and install themselves exactly as they were in their old country, you know, so they recreate their life. And actually what you'll find out if you're listening to this show with Lonnie, you'll find out that he disrupts all those patterns and goes completely almost virgin into Portugal. And you have to listen to it to find out more. But
well, it looks
I
like
love
Jeff,
how
it looks like Jeff already has. Louisa's interview with Lonnie is a must-listen interview. So you published it last night.
And then we unpublished it because Carl said, "Hang on, you're supposed to premiere it," and so
it didn't feel special enough. So forgive me. I think Jeff must have caught it between it being published and unpublished. But it will be publishing tonight. Did you say now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I didn't disrupt your viewing of it, Jeff.
No, didn't think of that.
Yeah, you know,
so when somebody was happily watching it and then we unpublished it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe YouTube honors that until the end. I don't know.
Yeah,
but apologies, Jeff, if we disrupted you.
It was only to honor the interview, which is a very good one. He's such an insightful, helpful, and loving man, isn't he, Lonnie?
Really, really loving. I mean, you know, his aim is to help people love their lives, and so really, what he's talking about through the whole process is how he has come to love his life even more, and that's why I find it really uplifting. Paradigm shifting, even
uplifting and paradigm shifting. You're the Julie Andrews of this space here.
I am today, aren't I?
You are. And
Hugo Nunu.
Hugo Nunu. There you go. Well done.
I'm getting there.
And that is what we aim to do with our Portugal Club. That's our service to people moving to Portugal, is the the touchy-feely side, and who doesn't like a touchy-feely side first thing in the morning? But if you go to the portugalclub.com, you'll find out what our offer is to people, how we want to support people.
Jeff caught it on the download on the podcast, because I put it up last night and I got the date wrong.
Excellent. So that's a way of listening to it as well. If you prefer to have it in your ears rather than in your eyes, or both, you can listen to it on the podcast. That's great, Jeff. Thank you very much for that. And one or two folks here, including us, we are part of the Portugal Club. We're the founding members, because we've been through these processes ourselves. We're not occasionally standing on the touchline, aren't we, and as cheerleaders, but we're in the thick of it ourselves. And in these processes of moving to Portugal, and there's a few of the conversations we've had with others as well. Another interview I would like to commend to you is the further discussion of the fourth turning with John, as you can see there. What can expats and migrants offer Portugal is the question we're asking there. So a lot of migration, of course, is, what's in it for me? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there's another side to it as well of what can we bring, what can we offer as well. So.
Yeah, how are we being in Portugal?
Yeah, exactly. And as I say, we are members of as well as the hosts, we are members of the Portugal Club, and we have that question front and center.
Yeah, how can we be more?
How can we give?
Yeah.
And I mentioned the fourth turning there, and I do honestly think that we're in a kind of crisis time, the context in society, in the world. And after crisis comes the high in that particular philosophy. So we can be the agents of change and take the responsibility of how it's going to be in the high time by looking at how we're being right now in this particular time.
I see it as part of, we're in these cycles always, aren't we, in these life cycles. And so they're always going to be ups and they're always going to be downs. And, we're always on our way up or on our way down. But it's like, how do we understand that process, and how do we prepare for it, and how do we stay positive? Because without those downs, you don't have change. And I really think that, especially when you are moving somewhere else, you do need change. You need to, our brains almost get rewired. You're working with a different language, different culture. One of the things in the interview with Lonnie, for instance, it was just before his birthday, and I wished him happy birthday. He said, "Oh, that's really unlucky to wish somebody happy birthday in Portugal, ahead of time." Well, of course, he's got a Portuguese partner, so he's learning all those things that I haven't maybe learned, and things like that you just don't know. And there's these little moments of change and disruption that we can go through. And he was mentioning the grief cycle, and 5 years in, still I do still go through the grief cycle, where, this time last year leading up to Christmas, I had not a breakdown, but I remember one night just being really, really sad, thinking, I really want Christmas in the UK. And it was just a fleeting moment, just that feeling of, where are my roots? And so it is a process that we go through, and we can root down more and feel a lot more comfortable, and we have people in our environment and stuff And sometimes we might actually want some of our old friends, you know, and how do you work with that? Like not old, like, oh, well, our friends are all older than us. No, the friends that know us the most.
Yes.
You know, so there's a lot
Isn't
of
that
different
why we
things.
left?
Yeah, maybe. No. So yeah, I think I think we can often do a lot of these things while also you know, stretching ourselves. And
congratulations, Mrs. M, on another fantastic interview. You're getting complimented on the
Am
Josh
I?
and Kaylee one as well by
Oh.
OLP. So yeah, great. Please do take a listen to that and join us in the Portugal Club of looking at those aspects. You know, I think that not in the last couple of years we've certainly addressed the nuts and bolts, and I'm delighted to work with Expats Portugal and help develop the one-stop shop of the nuts and bolts of moving to Portugal. And you'll see at the top of our website, you know, for all those things of visas and insurance and currency, that's all. I think that's figured out now. And the exciting bit for me and Mrs. M is what comes after all of that. And I don't mean to diminish how stressful all of that stuff can be, because it can be, of course. And our particular interest now is what now, because as well as those moments Mrs. M just described there, you get the what now moments, don't you? What am I going to do?
Exactly.
What have I done?
Yeah. What am I going to do and what have I done? I mean, we're very fortunate, I think, given that, you know, we've got small children, we need to work, but, you know, it's not like we're retiring on a fat in like retirement or anything like that. And fair play to all of you that have worked really hard all your lives and you're now coming to relax. So like
and watch the show.
Yeah, thank you for that. But you know, like we have a very, I wouldn't say strict timeline of things, but we've had to build up a life really quickly around us through necessity, you know, to create some normality, you know, as much as we can for us and for our children, and to earn a wage. And so that's got us back into business. And I sometimes find it's easier for people who do need to carry on working. But for people who all of a sudden have this great big vista, they're very distracted by it, and you just have to kind of get on. And I think in the process of really getting on with things, you do just start to yield to your experience. But like, you know, when you've got this great big new vista in front of you, this big unknown space and unknown culture, etc., and then you also have tons of time to yourself, it's I mean, it's amazing if you can enjoy it and have the right mindset. But for a lot of people, they get a bit lost at first. You know, where are the anchors holding you down? So you know, anything we can do to assist and help,
you know where we are.
And I think, you know, I mean, one thing I love about some of the amazing people that we're working with is the fact that, you know, many of these people have already, you know, had this bit of space and this bit of reflection, and they go about their days and they see things and they think, oh, that's interesting. I've got a feeling about that. And then, you know, over time they start thinking, actually, I want to do something about this. And you know, they have conversations, and then things evolve and erupt. And I love that. So it's an eruption pattern. We've got disruption and eruptions.
Yeah, we do take a yin and yang approach. You're the yin, aren't you? And for people who are imploding or exploding and need a safe space, that's what Mrs. M offers.
Definitely.
And I would say I'm not that strong on that sort of stuff necessarily.
But you're very good at the just welcoming and making people just feel absolutely like they're important. And I think
this is Sparta. Hooah!
Carl's good at making you laugh.
This is Portugal. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. And Matty, before we greet Cátia this morning, watched your Josh and Kaylee episode, Louise. A great show. I should start watching their stuff again. They're a great couple, aren't they? And they go more into the backstory, don't they? And their love of travel in the conversation that you had with them as well. Yes. So in terms of what are people bringing to Portugal, that's the bit I love. Yeah. I'm talking to João Oliveira after the show today talking about a webinar about how we can approach the whole sort of property finding and land finding service from a sustainable point of view. That's what I'm talking about. I just released a conversation, the interview I did with Mama Bear McGowan as well, about conscious death, which would, of course, prompt questions about conscious and fully living while you're in Portugal as well. That's what we're talking about. And for Matty here, well, for me, it is a pain therapy that nobody else does in Portugal. So that's Matty's big idea that he's bringing to Portugal. So I'd love to talk to you about the context and how passionate you are about that as well. Lots of comments that we've not got to. And just to say, Jeff, you are up early this morning, aren't you? That's
May
incredible. He's
I-
already listened to the podcast.
That's it. That is incredible. May I just say,
You may.
saying like you make people laugh and you make people feel special and included is underestimating, I think, your abilities. Like wherever Carl goes, he creates community around him, or creates a space for community to come up. And you know, I've seen you do it time and time again.
Well, thank you very much.
And yeah, I think that's one of your very special skills. It's almost like a superhero power.
Oh, thank you very much. So you can work with the Mr. and Mrs. M at theportugalclub.com. If you want to find out more about that, theportugalclub.com, or just join us for one of our weekly sessions and try before you buy.
Yeah, if you're liking these conversations, these interviews that I'm doing with people, then what we're actually going to be doing on a weekly basis is we're going to be playing little sections of, I've got, I think, 30 interviews now.
How many?
30.
30?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be releasing them once a week. But, I've been talking to people, as you've probably already heard, all around the world about different aspects of what they're up to, how they've experienced it, etc. But we're going to take little bits of each conversation about the same topic.
Incredible.
And we'll have these events where you can come and join us and we can listen to bits, talk it through, and, put questions, put comments, and it just becomes this, I guess, an event, an exploration of what's going on for us all. So I'm hoping that's going to be a good support for people.
I didn't realize that 30 people you've spoken to. That's absolutely fantastic.
And it's growing. So I'm going to start recording again.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I'm just trying to get us out.
We should bring Cátia Lima on.
We should.
She's patiently waiting with her gorgeous hair.
This is very
lovely.
Rude of us. Both of you have got gorgeous hair. Your hair has been commented upon.
I don't know. It's going to be long again soon.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to get us onto LinkedIn. I think it's important because we've picked up some really nice new listeners and connected with some old friends over on LinkedIn. So I'm just pushing the button now. There may be a dimming of the lights as we go live on LinkedIn. Yes, there we go. So we should be live over there now because we had the wonderful chap Travis from Scoundrels Distilling in Porto get in touch via LinkedIn. So good morning to you. I think we should mention that as part of talking to Cátia this morning about. Here she is. Hey. Lovely to see you, Cátia. How are you today?
I'm okay, thanks.
Good. We're not drinking yet today. Are you? Have you started drinking as part of your recommendations to us this morning?
No. But I have a short glass here with me just in case anyone wants to see. Like this is like the makeup influencers do. Just in case anyone wants to see, color or something.
Oh, very
do
good.
Do I need to rush downstairs and get a couple of shot glasses?
Café con cheirinho for us this morning.
Is that what you?
That sounds like a great idea. Because I must admit Travis is here from. Do you want to join us on the screen as well, Travis? In a few minutes. I will put the just indicate in the comments if you want to join us on screen to talk about Scoundrels Distilling as well. It's turning into a party. Fantastic. And let's set this up properly. Cátia offered to tell us about the lesser known booze of Portugal, right? So that we can impress, amuse, and entertain our Portuguese friends and neighbours. Now we're going a little bit off the usual suspects. I'm a big fan of the Beirão, Cátia, but you think that's a bit of a cliche, a bit of an overdone perhaps, and there are some others we should know about?
Oh,
yes.
Pen and paper.
It's not just that. It's also the fact that if you're going to spend at least a part of the holidays with Portuguese neighbors or co-workers, or if you're somehow part of a Portuguese family, and especially in some parts of the country more than in others, you're bound to come across a few surprises. So I thought that would be interesting to talk about that.
Wow, what surprises!
I'm looking
like the mystery bottle.
The what?
Mystery bottle. I have the mystery bottle. Yeah, I have one here with me.
Okay. Oh wow. That's very intriguing, isn't it?
What's the mystery bottle?
It sounds a bit dangerous as well, doesn't it?
a bit. And it's also I'm not sure if you've come across anything like that before, but here in Portugal, especially some years ago, like I would say in the 60s, 70s, up until mid 80s, more or less, it was fairly common for dads to keep a special bottle, sometimes of homemade liquor of some sort, to be open on special occasions, usually the wedding of their children.
Oh, how lovely. Yeah. Okay.
And you'll see the patriarch of the family in times like, Christmas and New Year's and all that. At the end of the meal, they'll proudly show their special bottles. And it's interesting because even in the case of Portuguese who live abroad, they'll usually have at least one bottle of port for special occasions.
Oh, what a lovely touch.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's
a little bit of home, when you're far away from home.
Well, we have been talking about these sorts of issues of missing home this morning, haven't we? And that's a really good way of dealing with the saudade, as the Portuguese might have it. And I was just quickly thought to myself, what have we got? A tin of beans that we open up when we're.
I was just thinking about beans on toast.
Bad, isn't it?
No, not really. Like I'd love a whiskey match.
Short straw for
ginger.
the Brit. Oh, I've got some British saudade going on. Oh, fancy some beans on toast? Not really. Give me some port instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are some awful booze traditions in the UK that I'm happy to leave behind, but I wouldn't mind a whiskey and ginger wine at the moment. There's a nice taste of that. I love the idea of the mystery bottle. I think that's gorgeous.
And the special bottle as well. I mean, these two fantastic traditions as well. Sorry, what were you going to say about the mystery bottle? That appeals.
I was going to say, a lot of bottles we have at home are a bit of a mystery because I'm a bit of a terrible kombucha and kefir brewer, and often we don't know what's inside.
And the placenta tincture.
Oh God.
Placenta in vodka as well.
I've got my placenta.
There are people already who are reluctant to drink from the mystery bottle at our house, Cátia. So it's a mystery to the guests. Only the patriarch or the
No. It's like this. You had a sort of mystery bottle on the show some time ago. I remember that. It's the bottle that's been kept, on the shelves and just keeps. Nobody opens it. It just keeps, gathering up dust. And then it comes to a time when you look at the label, you can't see a date, but you can see that the price is still in escudos.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes the label is just so worn off. I have one here. It's called Aguardente Velha.
Oh, look at that bottle.
That's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hold that up to the screen? Because that is wonky.
That's so
nice.
It
is.
Superb. Okay. Curvada.
And again, Curvada Velha. It's Aguardente Velha.
Yes.
And again, I'm not sure this is good anymore, but it's like, a staple of the household. It's the old bottle that I inherited from, I don't know, probably my dad, I'm guessing.
Wow.
And and you don't have a date anymore, but you can see that the price was in escudos. I read it.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
10 escudos. So you can tell that it's really old.
Yes. That's incredible. And you're waiting for a special occasion to.
I don't know if I'll ever open it, honestly. One half of me wants to open it and just, live dangerously. The other half says, well, it's probably going to be awful anyway by now. So
you could use it to disinfect a wound if ever you need it. Like if it's war or crisis going on, then you could definitely use it for cleaning.
Incredible. You're right, Cátia. I found a bottle of Cantaneda.
Oh yeah, I remember that. that.
Yeah. And I decided I would drink it live on a live stream.
It was all right, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but I mean, I could have had paramedics summoned. I didn't know what was in there, frankly. But I tried it live on air, and it wasn't too bad as it turned out. But I think it had been repurposed. That's the problem with if the seal is not there, you don't really know what's in it, do you?
Yeah, no, this one is sealed.
Yeah, I think it's best to stick to the sealed ones with the mystery bottles, by the sound of it. I think, Cátia, you're here with us, I hope, until 10 o'clock or thereabouts this morning. Travis, I think, is with us now. What a lovely turn up for the books this is. Well, I think we're going to get a little bit of a tour of his rum distillery in Porto. Travis joined us a little, maybe, I don't know, a year or two ago, first of all, to talk about the Scoundrels Distillery in Porto. We will come back to your earlier comments as well. The Coach Turner tip of the day seems especially important now, and all your other lovely comments. So we'll come back to those a little later on in the show. But let's strike while the iron's hot in Porto and say good morning to Travis. How are you, mate?
Hey, I'm good, Carl. Good morning, everybody.
Hi,
How are you?
Travis.
We're
Good.
great. Delighted you could join us from Porto, live from Porto. Things have come on beautifully there from the video I saw yesterday. What's going on?
Yeah, things looking well. I've bunkered down and I've been making rum. So I'm making the first rum in Porto in history, and the whole reason for moving here, and making gin as well. But the whole reason was to actually come to Porto and use port wine barrels to finish rum. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
The first rum to be made in
Porto. Yeah. So I'll give you if you can let me. I'll just give you a quick tour if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So,
right.
So I'll just swing the camera around. So this is our gin school.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So this is where, yeah, it's a laboratory. We use it as a lab as well when we're running trials. So I've run a lot of rum trials in here because it's easier to make a mistake on a small still than it is on a big one. But yeah, this is our gin school. So people can come here and within a 3-hour period, they learn how to make gin and then leave with a bottle of gin they made themselves.
What?
So it's really quite cool. Yeah. And these are Portuguese alembics. So these are made here in the northern part of Portugal. Yeah, very cool.
What a beautiful.
And this is our Invicta gin collection. So that's our gold medal winner. So we won a gold medal in London, the only Portuguese distillery to win a gold medal this year at the London Spirit Competition, which was a big effort. And then we've got 2 silvers for our Portuguese citrus gin. And then we have a Navy strength gin for those people that love something that's a bit stronger, because that's 57%. That one, it's pretty strong. And then coming through here is the main production space. So this is how we set up for gin school. We've got about 53 botanicals here that people can choose from to build up their own recipe. And then we just give them a bit of instruction on, it's a bit like cooking, right? But you're cooking with vapor instead. And these are our two stills. And so I've actually got rum on here today. So on this one, I'm doing what's called a stripping run. So I'm removing the alcohol from a fermentation, and I'll collect everything. So if you ever hear the term heads, hearts, and tails, I'm actually keeping all of that spirit together. And then the second distillation is in this one called the spirit run, and I run it up through that column on the left-hand side, and that helps purify it. So
these are beautiful things.
It's a really beautiful space. It is. And then I'll just come back this way, and then down the back, I've got our barrel room where I've been really busy this year filling barrels with rum.
Yeah.
And these are our new oak, American and French oak. And we're doing a combination of both, but then we keep them separate when it goes into these barrels, these are ex-Taylor's tawny port casks. And if I could do like taste vision, you'd love it, because it just tastes incredible. It's amazing. So the first release on this one is supposed to be this December, but there's a huge issue with supply chain in Europe at the moment on bottles and sourcing. Glass is a huge issue off the back of the Ukraine situation. And then it's because there were 2 major glass factories in the Ukraine that have now been destroyed, which has put pressure on the rest of the manufacturers. And then on top of that is the fact that all the energy prices have gone up, and our bottle price has gone from 92 cents a bottle to $1.35 in 2 months.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it. That's the tour, guys.
That is Travis.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I think we need to come and actually.
We're not alone. I think it's going to be a bit. Of people are pushing each other out of the way to come to Porto this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I was thinking, you said the question that you said before is about what do you bring to Portugal?
Yes.
Yes. I've my everything, because I built all of this. Like, we did everything by ourselves, by hand. So I did all the electrics, all the plumbing, the design, the carpentry. Taught myself how to make gin. Taught myself how to make rum. And the idea is to actually put Portugal and Porto on the map for premium rum production. So
wow, that's the spirit. Pardon the pun, but that is the spirit exactly that we're talking about. And I think you get today's award for extraordinary expat.
Oh my god!
Thanks.
What you've done is incredible, Travis. There. And
it's been a team effort. My wife did 130 to 140 recipes on the gin, Andy, to get down to our final 3. And we did blind tastings of all of them. And we worked out on the first day that to try to taste 15 on the same day is not a good idea, because it just ended up a little bit.
What's the deal? Is she in rehab now? What's
No. She's working on it. We're working on we've got a couple of new releases coming out next year. We're going to do There's a word in the south it's called bicker, but in the north it's cimbolino for coffee.
Yeah.
And we've just registered that last week. We got the European trademark for cimbolino, and we're launching a coffee liqueur, which will be very cool. Yeah, and then there's we're doing a finger lime vodka as well. We're going to launch, and a spice rum.
Do you sleep?
Yeah, we've got some things.
At all?
Never. No, I work and when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about it, and when I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning, having a panic attack, that's the first thing I'm thinking about as well. So yeah,
bless you.
I live and breathe it. Yeah.
Cátia, what do you think? This as an expat, this makes me proud. I'm feeling some of the associated glory of people coming to Portugal and doing amazing things. What do you make of this man's efforts? Speaking on behalf
amazing. They're amazing. And but I think Porto was a great location for that, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is. Everything's here, Cátia. I mean, if you want to do aging spirits, there's still like generations of Coopers here down around.
There's a different culture around, not just the wine, but
spirits.
Spirits in general.
How did you get to be here, Travis, to do that?
Away. Sorry, I'm going
to
have to go.
Suddenly got to go and go to the drinks cabinet.
Travis,
I've been inspired.
I've got a birthday coming up, and I'm wondering if Carla will bring me up.
Did you see what she did to me there?
Sounds like a good idea.
Put me on the spot, why don't you? Okay.
Yeah.
We are due.
Or if not, maybe in the new year. But I'd love to.
For sure.
Thanks for that, Gin.
Oh no,
you're welcome.
Visit. It just sounds like a really interesting place. I mean, I'm getting the vibe of Field of Dreams. You know that film. Like
build it and they will come. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you've done. You've got like this massive vision, and you've stuck with it and breathed it, lived it. Wow.
Yeah, it's taken 7 years. I mean, from the first idea of making rum, it's taken 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
To the month, December. Yeah. That's why I've gone grey. Gone grey in 7 years.
It's
to be fair, we're all got older in 7 years.
For sure, we have. Yeah. True.
Wonderful.
But I loved it. When you were talking about things aging, I was thinking this is the perfect thing for people to do, because we're all aging, aren't we? And a lot of people that are coming over, the expats, we're all very keenly aware of.
Do you know that's a really great idea, to buy a rum and continue to age it alongside yourself, and it turns into a mystery bottle.
That's true. It does.
No idea.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you must have a few mystery bottles along there.
We have got. Cátia, you should come and see our mystery bottles. Seriously, we've got some that they're probably a little bit like the placenta stuff. You probably wouldn't want to drink it. Yeah.
Do you know what? You could actually have a line called Mystery Bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the mystery bottles are basically the gin school bottles that come out every week. That everybody's gin is different. There's never one gin that's the same as another. So yeah, it's interesting that way.
That's incredible. You know how hairdressing schools have guinea pigs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've been to those schools. Yeah, I've done that. I've been to them.
All right. I better go because I can hear a child calling me. But lots of love to you. It was nice to meet you, Cátia, and you, Travis.
Nice to meet you too.
Very nice. You hadn't already met. Okay, Mrs.
I know I've never met Cátia before.
So it's long overdue. All right, see you later.
Very long overdue. Bye.
Okay, there she goes. Mrs. M needs to go now. And Cátia's joining us for the rest of the hour. The lesser known booze of Portugal, so you can impress your Portuguese neighbours, friends, and associates, and learn a bit more about boozing culture in Portugal. And an impromptu tour of the Scoundrels Distillery, making gin and rum, as you've seen there in Porto. I think we've got, before you go, Travis, we've got a few questions for you. Well, and comments. I'm coming to Porto. Get out of the way. Hold my beer.
Good.
Porto, says Lord Gilchrist there. Brian's in. Bon dia, GuMPers. Matty wants to be picked up on the way. Portuglish, so pick Matty up on the way to Porto as well. Next time to Porto, definitely to visit. We've got a few people who've added you to their list of things to do in Portugal, Travis. I want to tour that rum factory, says the OLP in Oregon this morning.
Oregon, cool.
Amazing. Out of curiosity, how does your rum compare with Cruzan, the stuff from Saint Croix? Do you know that one?
Yeah, much better. Ours is much better. No, I think, look, the quick one on rum is that there's a lot of different ways you can make rum. You can make rum from sugarcane juice. from refined sugar, from brown sugar, or molasses, and ours is a molasses base. So there's a lot of difference. So a rum agricole is one that's made from sugarcane juice. So Sacra is probably sugarcane juice. A lot of those agricole rums are from around the Caribbean. Yeah.
Okay.
And Madeira. Madeira's agricole rum as well.
All right. This thing about the bottles, which is news to everybody, I think this morning, that there's a bottle crisis. I've got my own question about that, but and Andy, who is Portuguese here, says, Travis, can we bring our own glass bottles? Is that a solution?
Yeah, you can. I mean, if they're a 500ml bottle for the gin school, yeah, we've just implemented a new mandate that with our Invicta gin bottles for all of our trade customers and consumers here in Porto, is that we will do a buyback on the bottles because we actually designed our bottles originally not to be single use. We want people to reuse them, and we're now buying those bottles back, washing them, sterilizing them, and reusing them. Yeah, it's a
great idea. Okay, that's fantastic. Francis, he's a Porto fan, as in the football team and the town, and now the distillery. And I'm sure we'll be coming to see.
Well, we're just near Estadio de Dragão, so we're about a 500-meter walk away from the stadium.
Oh, so that must be a lot of fun on match day as well. The vibe.
Yeah, it is. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Oh, superb. Sarah saying, if your rum is much, much better, you just made our Christmas. So that must be a favourite of theirs. The same.
Well, it's going to have to be a pre-order, because that's my issue, is that the bottles haven't arrived and I can't launch a product without a bottle, which is really unfortunate.
This is terrible, this situation.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
And to do that, Travis, is this the website then for people to go to pre-order and to get in touch with you?
Well, yeah, Scoundrels Distilling is the website. I can't see it. Yeah, that's it. And you can follow us on Invicta Gin on Instagram, and Scoundrels Distilling, and Invicta Gin School on Instagram.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And you know, Portugal makes everything, right? So presumably glass is made in Portugal, but there just isn't a supply side. Is that the problem?
I don't know about the supplies. I'm guessing it's also a question of demand and offer. I mean,
it seems to be. Yeah.
It tends to be industry specific. So if we wanted beer bottles, wine bottles, or port bottles, it wouldn't be a problem, or jars. But because we want a slightly different type of bottle, so the ones we're getting are from Spain, and they're made from 100% recycled glass. So we just have to be patient.
If we can help by emailing the Spanish bottle factory and asking them to hurry up, that would be glad to do that.
Yeah,
order on the way, not to worry, says Sarah. So you've made their Christmas as far as the rum department goes. Remember the tops as well. I don't know if you have a foil top, and soft drinks, soda, and pop bottles. People getting very resourceful trying to help you with the bottles, but it's
thanks.
A bottle that's being used there that Travis is waiting for, mate. It's so inspiring to talk to you today. I mean, you've created something of beauty, and you've truly made, I think, a wonderful expat contribution to things in Portugal. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
You're an inspiration.
And I was just going to say, Carl, my wife's a bit like you. She's all about community, so she does a really good job bringing people together. And this weekend, we've actually got the Porto Social Club with Mike and Tara, American friends of ours, are running the Porto Social Club. They've got an event here on Saturday, and then on Sunday we've got an artist market with about 10 or 12 artists displaying their own stuff, whether it be paintings or pottery or something here in the distillery. So if people looking for something.
And your wife's name, Travis?
Andy.
Well, keep up the great work, the pair of you. This is absolutely wonderful to reconnect with you and find out what you're doing there, because we did
thanks, man.
About an hour, not an hour ago, a year
ago. Yeah,
it was a year, wasn't it? And I wasn't drinking at the time, was I?
No, were you off? Yeah, I did the same. I went and walked the Camino and took a little bit of time off alcohol as well.
Did you?
Well, living and breathing it every day is just a bit much sometimes. So
yeah, fair enough.
But okay, I'm going to go, Carl, because I don't want to. I've railroaded Katia's thing. So see you, Katia. Come and visit.
Good of you, Travis. See you later, mate. Ciao.
See you guys. Bye.
Ciao. And happy Christmas to you. Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. My mouse isn't working, so Travis is still with us. No, he's gone now. Okay. Wasn't that incredible, Katia?
It was.
Wasn't expecting that.
It's going to be something, and it has, again, it's a doubly good location, not just because it's in Porto and the whole drinking culture in the north in general, but also he's near the Porto Stadium, so that's a really good location.
Yeah. Is that your team? Do you follow domestic team?
No. I was I don't really care about football, but
Okay.
I was born in a family of sporting supporters. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
but
that's where I got my sorry, I haven't had any coffee today yet. That's where I got my skill to suffer, in life.
okay.
Sporting fans will understand. Yeah.
So a bit of Sadat and a bit of sporting fandom there. It makes for a particular kind of. Sorry, say that again, Mrs. M. Do I want a coffee? Oh, come back with a coffee, yes, and maybe with a with a little snip. Cheirinho would be great this morning, given that we're talking about the booze. Cátia is here with us to do that, and you are, of course, the great Beyond Lisbon blogger, and we had a compliment in. Somebody enjoyed one of your blogs. I'm trying to find it now. I don't know if you saw that, but was it the OLP possibly? Oh, here we go. It's from James. I enjoyed your piece on cafe culture. The current edition of Portugal Living Obrigado. So you want to be looking for Beyond Lisbon, Cátia Lima, and to find out more about what Cátia does. Joins us every month to talk about indie Portugal, basically, and other sides of Portuguese life that we wouldn't ordinarily find out for ourselves. This month, we're looking at lesser-known Portuguese booze. You've talked to us about the mystery bottle and the lovely tradition of how the patriarch traditionally might have a special bottle when they're abroad as a Portuguese expat themselves to share and to remember home. What else can you tell us then about what might be on our shopping list and how we should behave this Christmas when it comes to the lesser known?
Well, continuing on that idea of the mystery bottle, and I'd just like to say that especially if you're in the countryside or in smaller towns, or if you are with a Portuguese family that does have, family in the countryside, you might come across some homemade liqueur. Usually they're made with things like ginger as well. You can make your own homemade ginger. And other things like herbs and even orange peel or, cinnamon sticks, anything like that. So it's a kind of a different take on the mystery bottle. And I don't have any here with me, but
why is that, Cátia? Has it all been drunk?
Sorry?
Has it all been drunk already?
Sorry?
Have you drunk it all already? Is that why
No,
there's
I don't have it. I don't have any. But my granddad used to have a few that he made himself. Sometimes he used to make his own ginger.
Did he? And tell us. Oh, so he was a ginger maker. Which part of Portugal would that be?
Ginger is usually associated with what we call Oeste, Alcobaça, Óbidos. And today, most people associate ginger with Óbidos and the chocolate cups.
Yes.
But in fact, ginger is traditional or original from Alcobaça.
Yeah.
Because the Cistercian monks that used to live in the Alcobaça monastery, they created ginger in the same, with the same idea that other sorts of herb and spices liquors were created in other parts of the world. For those who might be familiar with Hungary, you may have heard of something called unicum, which is it's a herb and spices too, I believe, liquor that was supposed to be medicinal.
Always.
But but that's the blueprint for other liquors that I want to tell you about. Like, for example,
excellent. There we go.
Yeah, this one is made with poejo, pennyroyal.
Okay.
And pennyroyal, it's something that you'll usually find. You can find it all over the country, in things like soups, fish stews, that sort of thing. But it's most commonly used in the south, especially in Alentejo.
Okay.
And
never seen that. If I look a bit harder in the supermarket, will we find these, or do you have to go to a specialist?
Probably not in the supermarket, unless it's some special time like now Christmas, where they might have more things on offer.
Yes.
But usually you can only find this. Also on markets like that also have handicrafts, that kind of thing, where you'll find stalls from different parts of the country.
Yeah, sure.
If
Well,
not, then go to Alentejo. I bought
okay.
this bottle in Algesur or Vila Nova de Mil Fontes. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it was in Vila Nova de Mil Fontes. That's a
Well,
lovely town on
worth
the
doing,
coast.
isn't it? What a beautiful place to go to and bring that
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's
fantastic.
lovely. It's this. For those who don't know, Pennyroyal belongs to the mint family, so
Okay.
this tastes sort of fresh. Not
Pennyroyal,
exactly
yes.
like mint, but
Got it. Okay. Well,
yeah.
that's good to know. And of course, yeah, if you can possibly support your garrafeira, your local wine merchant, they'll probably be able to track it down for you, right? And I just discovered Estado Líquido in Caldas de Rainha, which is the most incredible wine shop I've ever been to in my life, actually. I'm sure they'll have it. So Licor do Poejo, that's the one,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Licor de Poejo, yeah.
So if you need the spelling, Antonio F is helping us out here. That's fantastic. Didn't know about that one. What else have you got for us this morning, Cátia?
Then, along those lines, something I tried for the first time some years ago in Monsanto. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. It's a little village near the border with Spain.
Oh,
It's in
okay.
central Portugal. It
Right.
used to be. It's still known as the most Portuguese of Portuguese villages.
Yes,
It's a long
yes.
story. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's acorn liquor.
Oh, bolota. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting because on Monday we had the Trincas bolota, the fallen acorn wine, which is quite popular. But this is acorn liqueur by the look of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
And,
I first tasted
how does
something
it
like
taste?
this in how can I describe it? Earthy.
Earthy.
It's dense. It's not as like, for example, Poejo is sort of fresh. And this
Yes.
is not. This is more earthy. I don't know exactly how to describe it. The first time I tasted it was in Monsanto, like I was telling you. It was a really foggy late afternoon, and I found my way into a little bar, and I had this shelf full of bottles of different
Found
sorts
my
of
way
liquor,
into a little bar.
and that's where I
Superb.
first tasted it. Yeah.
Okay, that's bolota then. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. These are fantastic. And yeah, I think when we come to Portugal as foreigners, we do see the Beirão. We see the heavily marketed ones. We see the Ginginha and Ginger. So this is a real treat for us. And I want to find out from you as well how to drink politely and correctly when in Portuguese company. But do you have any more for us that we should know about?
Yeah. Just a little thing about ginger.
Yeah.
I have an old bottle here.
Beauty. Hold on, let me just get a close up on that.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's a fabulous bottle, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the
Also,
with
it has the price in escudos as well. So
it's an old one, another old one.
yeah.
When did escudos leave Portugal? Was that 1986?
No, 2000, I believe.
Oh, okay. So the union with the EU was 86, I think, and then the currency
This one
left.
was 15 escudos, I think.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, and it's worth keeping for that reason alone, isn't it? What a lovely historical. Yeah.
I'd just like to say, for those who like drinking their ginger with the chocolate cups, which is what most people do these days, as you may have guessed, it's not a traditional way of drinking it, although it is convenient. It tastes like, having one of those bonbons, what they're called.
Chocolate liqueur.
Moncherie. Yeah.
Moncherie, and also it's ecological as well, isn't it? No
Yeah,
washing up,
exactly.
no waste. Yeah.
And if you go to some place, like in Lisbon, for example, there are at least 2 traditional places that sell ginginha. You can ask, although they will serve it in glass cups, not in chocolate cups. You can ask for it with the cherries or without the cherries. But you don't say com as gingas, you say com elas, okay, or sem elas.
Okay.
That's the traditional way of saying it. Ginger com elas, if you want to have the cherries, or ginger sem elas, if you just want to drink with no cherries.
Elas is not the word for cherry, though, is it?
It's them, with them or without them.
Okay, I've got you now. Okay,
Elas,
so with them,
the
Elas,
ginger.
Elas. Okay, all right, got you. I was thinking, hold on a minute, that's not how you say cherry, but with them or without them, which is a useful bit of vocabulary to pick up. So com elas or sem elas.
Yeah, I can write it down here on the chat.
You can use that in other contexts, folks, and that's a beautiful thing about talking to Cátia. We get educated on many fronts. When Cátia is here on Indie Portugal Thursday. Okay, so that's fantastic. And I don't think this is one we've already had, but what is the name of the liqueur from Monchique?
Yeah, it's medronho. I have here a
Oh,
bottle,
Madroño,
not
okay.
of Madroño, but Madroño. It's not exclusive to Monchique, but it's usually associated with Monchique.
Okay.
And there's something you can also make something that I have here. It's called Melosa, which is basically Madroño mixed with honey.
I just need to zoom in on you there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
These are beautiful labels. I love the labels. They look like they're made on old-fashioned printing machines, and they've stuck to the original sort of design and graphics, haven't they?
I got this bottle from that place that I mentioned on my previous time here
Yes.
on the Doçaria do Sul.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got this bottle from.
And that's one of the indie brands or the indie brand purveyors that you can find in our shop. Our GuMPer store specializes in supporting the small businesses, and we'll make sure the Scoundrels Distillery goes in there as well. That's fantastic. So that would be from Monchique Way, that particular one. That's in Algarve.
Yeah, in Algarve, yeah.
Okay.
You can find in several parts of the Algarve, not exclusively in Monchique, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. There are several, says Antonio F, apparently, but one is called Melosa Madroño Mel, Arbutus and honey there. This is fantastic, really good. And you're just going back a little way there and talking of the I suppose the tradition and the lineage of these things. It reflects Portuguese history, doesn't it? Portuguese, the great world travelers, coming back with different flavors and herbs and spices and putting them in the booze. It's just such a lovely reference to the history of Portugal as well.
This in this case, for example, Melosa, some people just add honey to Madroño, and some others besides the honey also add cinnamon and lemon peel. For those who don't know or haven't been in Portugal long enough, lemon peel and cinnamon are two very common flavorings that we use in a lot of things, even in desserts like leite creme, arroz doce. All of those use cinnamon and lemon peel.
True.
Cinnamon, of course, not being natural, native to Portugal. So
that's an interesting point, actually. I wonder where most cinnamon production takes place, because the bacalhau comes in from the north of Europe, doesn't it? And I wonder where the cinnamon comes in. These are traditional Portuguese things, but not necessarily
Southeast Asia, I believe.
Southeast Asia. Okay, that's really interesting. Carlos is telling us that Lisa has fallen in love with the ginger, especially the chocolate cups. Very understandable. And as you say there, Cátia, a little bit of a thing that's been created by tourism as well, but it's a lovely little we were there's a video of Mrs. M trying the ginger in a chocolate cup from Alcobaça last week. It's just a lovely little ritual, and it was I think €1 a shot. It was very affordable, so she had a couple of those there. All right, so
sorry, I'm just going to say in Óbidos, last time I was here, I also come across at least one place that had ginger, which obviously was not ginger, for kids in chocolate cups, and it was basically a cherry syrup.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, my kid loved it, of course.
Getting in on the act. I mean, when
they feel like they're being part of the whole ritual,
Sure, for sure. And it's a lovely combination, cherry and chocolate, isn't it? And I know with our kids, our eldest said, "Mum, can I have the chocolate cup?" Nope. Mum was keeping
not sharing.
So, normally she's all about the sharing, but on this occasion, no. Sometimes we're learning a different lesson. We were gifted a litre of Madroño infused with figs, and it lasted about 2 weeks. That one sounds good, doesn't it? And Madroño, of course, it's harvest time, isn't it? This is the tree strawberry, so people know.
And you have anything to do with strawberries, though. I don't know why they call it. It has strawberry in the name. I don't know.
Because it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? If someone says, that's the strawberry tree over there, you think, oh, that sounds nice. It's winter. I wouldn't mind a strawberry off a tree, and then you eat it, and it's it's kind of grainy tasting, isn't it? And if you get a good one, you get a good one, but they've got such a coating on them that if it picks up cobwebs or something, they're not a clean fruit, are they? And they're very patchy and inconsistent.
But they're delicious. If you're hiking in central Portugal in the south and you're gonna come across a Madroño tree, it's delicious to just eat a few from the tree.
And they're high in vitamin C.
Although I'm sure if you know any Portuguese people, they will tell you to not eat a lot of them in a row. because apparently that's not good for you. But you can have a few, and that's great.
I imagine, like vitamin C infused things, that you might get a little bit of a laxative effect, is maybe, and that's not convenient when you're out hiking.
No.
I want all the bottles Cátia is showing. They all look delicious. And if
they're
we
mine.
Yes, step back from the bottles, Moaz. If we were more kind of switched on and corporate here, we might have a hamper ready at the end of the show saying "da-da," and you can buy all of these now in one single hamper. But I'm sure somebody can help with that, like the company we showed in the Algarve and some of the companies that we've got inside the GuMPer store there. So on to the next one then, as Victoria's telling us that she loves Malossa as well.
Yes,
how many have you got there, Cátia?
I have one my mom's favorites. You can't really see.
Is there something in the bottle? What is that? Oh,
elderflower.
elderflower.
Here you have a layer of sugar.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Here you have. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. Oops.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's a bit of fennel.
Fennel. Okay, that looks great.
This is called anís escarchado.
Yeah.
These are ladies from Madeira.
Oh, okay. And a beautiful label. Another beautiful label.
Yeah.
That's superb.
Tell
us about that one. So there's going to be a serious aniseed fennel flavor going on in this one, we're guessing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking for the price. Well, no, but it must be recent, I'm guessing.
Not a escudos,
no, I can't see any escudos in here. Well, it's made with fennel, and it's they make a sort of syrup with the sugar, and in this case, I don't know exactly why, but in some of the bottles you can still see the sugar glued to the fennel.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that sounds.
It's kind of a decoration item in itself, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's a wonderful thing about a lot of booze, isn't it? Is the labeling and the little surprises. Oh, thank you. Like a. What? That's a funny color, Mrs. M. Is that? What have you done to me? Have you made me a cocktail? I think she's put Beirão and aguardente together, possibly. There. I'm pouring that into my coffee so that I can actually get the cheirinho on that. Thank you so much. Muito obrigado for that. Yeah, that's. I mean, can you imagine having the fennel stick in there with sugar encrusted on it? I mean, people presumably try and get that out of the bottle at the end and eat the sugar coated fennel, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
That could work, and it would be infused with booze as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Of course. Some people also make this at home. It's one of those that you can make at home with a syrup and the fennel. Not much else I can tell you about it. It's how can I say? It's dense, but kind of. Sorry, I don't know how to use.
Complex. I would have thought.
Yeah. The texture itself, it's like syrupy. You know, it's dense again. It's but it's good. It's usually drunk at the end of a meal.
And the sugar content there you can see in the bottom of the bottle there. A few more comments in. Portugal has so much to offer. As tourists, we go for the typical mainstream Portuguese stuff. I'm excited to discover all the gems there. And that's exactly what Cátia has decided very thoughtfully to do for us today, and give us a little bit of a taste of, not literally, but a sense of the other alcohol that you're not going to see necessarily on the tourist trail or in the supermarket. I'm not much of a foodie, but drinks in moderation, yes. A great question from the OLP. Are you seeing the screen okay there, Mrs. M? Okay, there we go. Let's bring her back on. She's joining us again. How fantastic. Cátia, is there a prominent orange liqueur in Portugal? And yes, considering, Jean, that how many orange trees are on the Algarve, is there one? You're shaking your head. I think not.
No, not that I know of, but it's something that you'll find, again, if you have neighbors or family members who make their own. It's one of the things you'll most likely to find. It's I remember, I'm not sure if it was my granddad or my mom. I remember seeing a bottle of homemade liquor with orange peel. So it's one of those that you can easily make at home. So I doubt anyone would go to the trouble of actually building it to sell, because it's something you can make at home. It just, I mean, there's a recipe for that, of course, and just have to be patient and just forget about the bottle for a couple of months, and that's it. So
Isn't that brilliant? You're quite the brewer, aren't you, Mrs. M? You've made some fantastic.
I made all your drinks for your 50th birthday party, didn't I?
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
With dandelions,
nettles.
Yeah.
And some of those strange strawberry tree things.
The madronia.
Yeah, because we had a madronia tree in Devon.
It was a
England.
sign. It was a sign.
It was, wasn't it?
Incredible. A question for you, Cátia. I think some people are already coming to the aid of Jess. They're asking what the liqueur served in the chocolate cups.
It's ginger.
It is ginger. Do you say though ginger or ginginha? What's your view on that?
In Portugal, we love our inhos and inhas. But it's the same. I don't know. It's the same thing.
All right. Travis and Andy need to do an orange liqueur. That could work up there in Porto, couldn't it? It's to take some Algarvian oranges up there. He sounds like he's open to brewing with anything up there as well and experimenting.
Yeah, the thing is about orange liquor is that today, and especially like around this time of the year, if you go to any of those Christmas markets or anything like that, you'll find liquors made of virtually anything. Because once you get how to make it, it's a fairly easy process if you have, the space to make it. And so you can find liquors made with anything. Even I have a bottle there of, I think it's blackberry liquor, ginger liquor, rose petal liquor. Of course, but they're not, in the traditional side of things. So I didn't bring them here. But today you can find that sort of... they're basically, I think they're just infusions, but with spirits. So they're very easy to make, and you can find a lot of variations today.
Cultural question for you then. Clearly, you have a very comprehensive drinks cabinet. Okay, some of which we've seen today. So that's quite a normal Portuguese habit, is it, to have a well-stocked and diverse drinks cabinet?
Yeah, I think that's something that at least my generation got from our parents and grandparents. It's fairly common if you go to if you visit someone who's already a grandparent, you'll see at least a shelf with special bottles, and a few mystery bottles in there as well. Because as a rule, of course, there will be exceptions, but as a rule, we tend to drink as part of a whole social ritual. Yes. Not so much, drinking for the sake of drinking. Of course, there will be times when people will do it, but as a rule, we drink as part of a social ritual, which is why at the end of a long meal with all the family, you'll have the patriarch proudly bringing his special bottles to the table.
Yeah,
so everyone can share and have a glass or two.
Brilliant.
And of course, if you've got big families, that's a great way to have lots of social drinking, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's funny because some time ago I came across a meme. I shared it on my Facebook at the time. It was something along the lines of, if you're in a family gathering in Portugal or with the Portuguese family abroad, doesn't matter, and then one of the uncles offers you a glass of aguardente. Of course, if it's a homemade aguardente, you're in for a real experience. But in a way, it's kind of, it still is in many ways, a kind of a rite of passage, coming of age.
Yeah. And what is that coming of age? I remember when I lived in France, parents would give their children watered down wine. Or wine watered down with lemonade, from an early age at special meals and things like that.
No, we don't.
Really from childhood. Yeah. What's the sort of rules, the social norms here?
We don't do that kind of thing, like watering down wine. We don't do that. Especially with wine.
I thought that's what you
meant. No.
But
it's not uncommon to. It's not uncommon to, in a family gathering again. In a family gathering to see the teenager, being offered, but we're talking about 15, 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Being offered a shot of something like a homemade aguardente to just, have a taste of real life and grow some hair in your chest. And
taste of real life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's superb. Okay, some more wonderful input from the GuMPers here. Well, Pete, sorry, I think I missed this earlier on. You were talking about Grand Marnier, and I was wondering if they have a cognac similar to that. So I think the orange flavored themed drinks would be homemade from what you're saying, Cátia. Anita in Lisbon, good morning to you. Hola, bon dia. My mother is from Madeira. She would pour other alcohol into the empty aniseed bottle when the crystallized tree was all that was left. That's really good repurposing. Sorry, I don't know what it is. Probably aguardente. Could you tell us one more time what that one was called? Because Mrs. M didn't see that.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm going to write it down for those because it's a complicated name.
It's got the fennel inside the bottle.
Wow.
It's anise cachado. I'm going to show you the bottle again.
Here's the bottle just one more time. This is the one that.
Sorry.
Wow.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah,
inside the bottle there.
Yeah.
I thought it was an elderflower plant.
No, it's fennel.
Yeah, superb. Right now, says Moaz, I'm looking at my bottle of limoncello and I'm hearing open. I mean, limoncello, that's a nice one, isn't it? Excellent stuff. So a good well-stocked drinks cabinet is de rigueur, or I should say that in Portuguese rather than French there. Normal. Normal.
Exactly.
Obligatorio.
Obligatorio, there you go. Or otherwise, you can write in the family complaints book if it's not enough food. And this is an interesting thing as well culturally, because I think it takes a while, doesn't it, to be invited into the home of Portuguese friends and family. A lot of Portuguese socializing is done outside, isn't it, the cafe or the restaurant. So if you are invited into the Portuguese friend's home,
that's special.
That's a special moment, isn't it? And then you might get treated to the extra drinks cabinet experience. And we were, weren't we, when we first arrived in Portugal? We were one of the many houses we lived in. The family invited us to their home, and they had a really fantastic entertaining area, and that's a bit of a thing as well, isn't it? I think where you have it was almost like a family room that was a bit of a bar and a lounge.
Some people do that. Yeah,
it was like a proper, from my perspective, it looked like a proper lounge bar underneath. Like it almost felt like we were going somewhere very sacred, and all of the wood was really polished and shiny, and
it was beautiful.
Yeah,
and there was food, and it was an intermediate space. So we weren't going into the home. We were going into like an annex entertaining area of the home, as kind of you're not quite family, but you're welcome into this. You're nodding your head. That's a thing, is it?
Yeah. Well, for those who have the room to make it, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then it's sort of event,
and it had
in the villa home.
It had like the finest china and glasses and
Well, let's raise a glass to the Bandeiras family for very kindly inviting us into that level of intimacy. And on that note, then, Cátia, you know, people coming from UK, US, and other places will be wanting to invite people into their homes and have a drink at Christmas. What is the etiquette around that? And people shouldn't be disappointed if they're not invited into a Portuguese home, right? Because it is quite sacred and intimate.
It is. It's not. How can I explain this? Even in my generation, that's a bit of an inherited feeling of, you know, no matter how clean and tidy my house is, it will never be clean and tidy enough. You know, that's something our mothers just screw into our heads.
Yes.
So we're always feeling like we're not good enough. That's a fact. And that's the main reason why we don't invite people that often into our homes. Although I do have to say, and I have seen this happen quite often, it does. Not just around Christmas time, in other times as well. Especially if you're, not Portuguese, but you're living in Portugal, you don't have any family or a lot of friends here, it's quite likely that a Portuguese family will somehow adopt you and, invite you for meals and to go out with you. My own family did that a couple of times. It don't feel bad if you're not invited into the home space. You know?
Yeah, it's not a personal, is it? It's just cultural.
No. In terms of drinks, like I said, especially around this time of the year, most of the drinking happens at the end of the meal, or at least, I mean, you'll probably have some wine to go with the meal. But this sort of liquor drinking happens mostly at the end of the meal, with dessert, when everybody's, sitting back with their big bellies, like, oh God, like feeling like a boa constrictor after eating a big animal. It's just like, actually, I have a word for that in Portuguese. It's giboiar. I'm going to write it down.
Oh, we need that word.
Yeah.
We need that Christmassy word, don't we? Giboiar.
Giboiar, which is
Giboiar.
basically what, jiboia, it's like a big snake.
It's a wafer thin mint moment, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Giboiar is when you're just so full, just have to, sit back, relax a bit, and just give your belly some breathing space.
Bit of space. Loosen the belt, and then hopefully don't take somebody's eye out with a flying button. Yes. So, Mrs. M, you missed this. When you're having the ginginia, you can go coelish or sailish with them or without them, which would be the fruit actually in the glass. Okay, which is a lovely bit of vocab. And the fennel one is the anish escachardo.
Sounds wonderful,
doesn't it?
I've got a question. From where we've spent time with Portuguese people, and where we've had parties here, and where we've gone to other people's houses and stuff. What I've noticed is it's really hard to out gift a Portuguese person.
Oh yes.
And I wondered what the protocol is. Like, if you're invited over for food, what do you take? Because like in England, it's a little bit touch and go. And maybe in the last decade, people start to bring a gift for the person that's cooking. And that gift is usually a bottle of wine or something, and maybe some snacks. And my experience of Portuguese people is that's just not good enough, or they never seem offended if I think maybe like the first time we went to a Portuguese home, or spent time with Portuguese people, I think like we brought a bottle of drink and a nice snack, not like a packet of crisps, but something that looked really nice. But we've had people bring like gifts for the children, chocolates, a book, all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, what is the protocol? Is there a protocol? They always seem to bring more than everyone else.
It depends a bit on the situation. I mean, if it's a birthday party, for example, you're expected to bring a gift to the person, of course, who's celebrating his birthday, his or her birthday.
Yeah.
But if it's a child, you'll often see that people will also bring smaller gifts to the other children, so they don't get jealous of the main kid. It depends a bit on the situation. If it's something like just a normal family celebration of any kind, if it's something like a Christmas night or New Year's, one good option would be to bring something special. And when I say special, it doesn't have to be expensive, but in the sense that it can be like an entree, for example, or a dessert. Please don't mess with the main dish, because that's dangerous. That's dangerous. But it's nice to bring like an entree or a dessert that's traditional from your country, or that has a special, a family tradition.
That makes sense. We've had desserts,
that sort of thing. Yeah.
Baked beans.
And tell the story about it. Tell the story that's
tell the
surrounding
story.
it. Yeah.
That is superb. That's superb.
That's great information. Thank you.
Cátia, I'm aware your time is precious, and we're coming up to 10
it's okay.
o'clock.
It's okay. It's a holiday here in Portugal, remember, today.
We didn't say that, did we?
Oh,
it is a holiday today,
Yeah.
so everyone breathing out and maybe having an earlier drink than usual on this special day when Cátia has been telling us about the lesser-known Portuguese booze brands. Are there any more you wanted to tell us about? Because we've got quite a few.
Yeah, just a couple more.
Please do.
One of them is my favorite, and sadly, for some reason, I don't have a bottle here at home.
For some reason.
I swore I had one. I don't know. I looked up and down. I didn't find it. So sorry. Which is amêndoa amarga, bitter almond liquor, also known as amarguinha. Yeah. Amarguinha is one of the brands, but a lot of people just refer to it as amarguinha. Yeah, I'm just going to write it down here.
Did you say a bitter almond liqueur?
Bitter almond, yeah.
Wonderful.
That does sound. That's very particular, isn't it? It's a Marmite one. You're gonna like that or hate that one, I think.
I like it. I quite like it. It's
is it marzipan? Like an amaretto almost, a Portuguese amaretto, possibly.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's you will usually find it in the Algarve because the Algarve is a strong tradition of anything involving almonds, as well as Bragança, although Bragança for some reason didn't come up with amêndoa amarga. But anyway, it's traditional from the Algarve, and it can be drunk. Usually people just drink it plain, room temperature. But some years ago, I was at a wedding reception, and the barman told me that you can also drink it with a chilled. You fill the glass with it, chilled, and then you add some lemon drops on top. You don't mix them. You don't mix them. You just add the lemon
drops. Okay, so that hits the nose.
And for people who don't like this sort of drink, it's easier to drink, basically. Also because it's chilled.
Right, okay, you don't have to hold your nose. You just get distracted by the fragrances. Okay, superb. Antonio thinks the bottle might be in the trash bin, maybe. Of that particular one.
What? Yeah. What, the Amberguinho? No.
Yes. It's none of our business. And I think you have a final one for us. Is this the ultimate?
Yeah.
Is this last for a reason?
It is, because you may also come across, again, in times like this in Portuguese families, across some rarities, let's call them like that. In this case, I have something here. You've probably heard of muscatel and favaya.
Yes, definitely.
This one is purple muscatel.
Look at the color of that.
Sorry, I'm terrible with this. Okay.
Regal.
I've never seen that in the shops.
That one's
popular. That's the thing. It's kind of rare because it uses a specific type of muscatel grape, purple grapes, and they were almost extinct a few years ago. But then this brand, José Maria da Fonseca, they managed to make some more grapes to revive the whole thing, and I made them muscatel exclusively with this sort of grape. And although other companies just followed suit, it's still not as common as the normal muscatel. So it's a bit of a rarity, and that's also something you can come across, in family gatherings in Portugal at this time of the year. Has a beautiful color,
doesn't it? Just
and it tastes a bit more delicate than normal muscatel.
If we could have the name for that one as well, because
I'm just going to
miss the chunk of the show, but we'll watch the replay, take notes, and sips as well. What a lovely education you've given us this morning, Cátia. I really appreciate you for that. And a few people needing to leave now. We've kept them, but we must go back to the comments that we didn't catch earlier on. And thank you for staying with us, Cátia. If you wish, if you need to go, do let us know.
No, it's okay.
Okay, because it's a nice, easygoing holiday day today, and there was quite a lot that we missed out. I'm scrolling. I've got repetitive strain injury getting to the top of the comments today. Right back to the 7:45 greeting from T. Duck Bon Deal Agria Gumpers. And so let's if you've got any more questions about Portuguese booze and the lesser known varieties, do stick them in the comments before we go today, as we're celebrating. Do you know, when I poured in that Beirão into my coffee, it sunk to the bottom. I feel like I've just drunk it all in one go at the bottom of the cup there. Beirão in coffee as a shirin, I'm not sure. It tastes a bit like there's still washing up liquid in the cup. Deep thought.
Gross.
Deep thought. Okay. That's the real name of Mother Teresa. Then I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples. Mother Teresa, her real name, or her original name, I should say, Mary Teresa Borjaju, better known as Mother Teresa, was an Indian Albanian Catholic nun who, in 1950, founded the Missionaries of Charity. Thank you very much. Let's see how we get on here, Mrs. M. I think with Cátia here, you should do this one. Is it
what?
No sugar. Sorry.
No sugar sobre light derramado. I'll do it. So don't cry
over spilled milk.
It's okay to cry over spilled liqueurs, though, isn't it? Because
if you've had one too many glasses.
Who cares? Yes.
And if you're a sad drunk,
Yes, Hugo Nuno. December the 8th is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Of course, that's what we're celebrating and observing today in Portugal. It's a public holiday and a day off for the general population. So despite being a bit rainy, although I think the sun's come up in the capital, we are having an easygoing day today. Schools and most businesses are closed. Okay, so as much as I wanted to go and see Finanzas today, they're not going to be open. I'm going to have to put it off for another day. Okay, and we will climax with the dad jokes as we often do after we've said hello to James with his Feliz Quinta Toros and Como Va. And cue this: when we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah,
Isn't
definitely.
that lovely? Yeah, really good. And a Yogi Berra quote of the day: you've got to be very careful if you don't know where you're going, because you might not get there. Also,
But you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know you hadn't got there.
Yeah. Which is kind of helpful.
Ooh. God's tip of the day. Then chatting yesterday online with Bob Wenger, and he's the Bob Bullworker Wenger, if you don't mind. He was talking about using his legs when lifting rather than his back. It's sometimes difficult, but try to keep your back straight. Squat the legs. Don't bend from the hips. Bend the knees. And from Anna, Bon dia alegria todos, starting to dry out from yesterday's weather. But it's coming again, isn't it? The second storm this week in the Algarve. Is it rainy where you are? What's going on, Cátia, in your experience here? This is much more rain than we might expect, right, in a Portuguese winter?
No, it's normal. The thing is, we had a lot of rain in a relatively short amount of time yesterday.
But normal. You're not at all shocked by the amount of rain?
It's winter. We're supposed to have rain. I mean,
300 days.
It's not winter yet. I know it's not winter yet. I know, but yeah.
You're not shocked.
No.
Okay, I'm just disappointed and not shocked then.
I'm disappointed
because it doesn't seem to end.
It's only been
It's only been 3 months of rain, hasn't it?
No, like we had a beautiful couple of days. Like yesterday, we were beach combing.
All right, let me stop moaning then. Okay, sorry everybody. It's 300 days of sunshine, but they don't tell you about the 65 days of rain. Huge, bright, white lightning strike followed by near immediate deafening thunder very near to us last night. How exciting. Power went out, but was surprisingly restored. You had an outage, restored within about 10 minutes. Nice work there. But Deagle also in earlier on. Bon dia, Carl and GuMPers from a Baltic Belfast at -2. I should stop moaning. Got to go out listening to my head. Can't wait to get home to sit in front of the fire. That sounds lovely. Mehmet, thank you for joining us this morning. Deagle has a union meeting. Health workers going on strike on Monday the 12th for safe staffing. Over 7,000 vacancies across our health system. There's your fourth turning crisis right there, folks. Also pay parity, as no pay rise in Northern Ireland this year. Everyone was clapping for them, but they don't want to give them a pay rise.
Yeah, that seems a bit off.
Very strange. Fully support you, says Coach Turner. I suspect the pressure is building.
I imagine it is.
Is it just me? I love a question that starts like this. Is it just me? And we will give you an answer to this. Or is there really a lot of conversation about alcohol and alcohol consumption or overconsumption on this show? Not just today, but also in general. Ooh.
Well, you know what? My comments are all coming from the feeling of I just want to feel ease in my body at the minute. I just want to feel really comforted, really cozy. I want to just feel like I'm indulging my body in a way that just feels sensuous and divine.
Yes.
So it's not coming from the position of, come on, let's get wasted.
Dependency. Well, that's something that's definitely something the Portuguese can teach us, right? Is to drink socially and gladly and luxuriously and with appreciation and consciousness.
Yeah, I mean that's where I think it's coming from with me at the minute is from a place of appreciation. And actually, I think you should be quite pleased about it because Carl normally says, "How does that wine taste?" When I do, and I say,
like wine.
"It's just wine." So I've never really appreciated things before.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at things from a new position of appreciation.
Yeah, good point there, James.
Yeah.
And it's always good to have these points coming in, as a little check and balance. I think we do talk about boozing quite a lot. It's a man cave thing for sure. Lee was on 1 beer a day and all that, taking pictures of his beer wherever he was. And I think the key message, and this is a great thing that the Portuguese, I think, are teaching us, is to drink with appreciation and consciousness. Because in our cultures of the US and UK, people do drink to lose themselves sometimes.
Yeah. I have a friend in the UK. Who told me once, ginger is nice. I don't really like it because it's sweet, but it's nice. But you don't get drunk from it, do you? And I told her, no, you're not supposed to get drunk from ginger unless you're a 90-year-old lady. You're not supposed to get drunk from ginger. unless of course you could drink like 2 bottles in a row, something like that. But
Yes.
it's just, you're supposed to drink it, you know, and appreciate the flavor, and just, it's just something you drink with friends, you know, at the end of the meal, something like that. It's not, you're not drinking to get drunk.
Quite.
Yeah.
Very good.
That is so,
quite,
that is so embarrassingly British. You can't get drunk, can you? I mean, so what's the point? Greetings from Alvor. Hey, it's stopping raining here. We'll start again soon. Don't worry, Paul. Thanks, Ian. Clapping on a Thursday night. Never employed a midwife, porter, domestic healthcare worker, or nurse. Well done, you health workers. You stand up. The storm was amazing last night. Thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening indeed. Sun's out just now and drying out in Cazalomba. I think this is where we got to in the comments. Thank you, everybody, for your... We had a lovely comment about your hair. People enjoying your shorter hair, Mrs. M, even though you're not, I think. Okay, and apologies if we missed any comments. Let's finish with a dad joke or two. I've got a coffee, Cherinho, and a few dad jokes. What a fantastic start to the
Sorry,
day.
I shouldn't kind of brush off those comments. Thank you very much if you've written in something nice about me. So
yes, there you go. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. Dad jokes. Why did the ram run off the cliff?
That's actually good.
It didn't see the U-turn. Very good. My watch went on vacation. Needed to rewind. Oh, that's a proper dad joke, that one, isn't it?
Good.
Yeah. And have you heard the music of the planets? I prefer Neptune's. Very good indeed. Thank you so much, T-Duck, for those. Thank you, Cátia, for being here and educating us. It's always a pleasure to be in your company, and the way you go about sharing your culture with us, we're so grateful for. So thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure. It was great to be here again.
And have a wonderful holiday day today. Are you going to take it nice and easy, or have you got a busy one?
I have a busy one.
Okay, I'll let you get on with that. So thank you so much.
Thank you so
much. And we look forward to seeing you. Oh, well, let us wish you and yours, Boas Festas, Feliz Natal.
Yeah,
and we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, definitely.
2023. Yes, Boas Festas. Ciao. There she goes, Cátia Lima. Beijinhos, abraços. There you go. And how wonderful. I really don't like hitting the button to exit people out of the studio, but there comes a time.
Harsh,
it does feel harsh. But
like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Yeah. No, you say goodbye. No, you say goodbye. But it falls with me, the responsibility for that. That sounds, the boozing thing, that sounds exactly like people I know in the US too. You can't get drunk on it. Cátia is a beautiful name. It is, isn't it?
It is a
beautiful,
really beautiful
name, beautiful lady.
It's nice to see Moaz. I haven't seen Moaz recently in shows. It's nice to see him again.
Yep, good to see you.
I don't know if you disappeared, but maybe I just haven't noticed. But I'm noticing you today, Moaz. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, I've noticed. And I think the World Cup and the drink brought Moaz back this morning. I'd love to be Cátia's neighbour and drink all of these. That's superb, isn't it? And it was Almarginia there, and it does taste like amaretto. So thank you for that, Victoria.
I mean, the sense I'm getting is just like like the variety packs of chocolates, which I don't really like.
Yes.
Like someone did one of those memes on Facebook I saw, would you choose Cadbury's Heroes and Roses or this or that?
Yep.
But those really lovely boxes, like those chocolates you mentioned earlier, what were they called?
Buja.
That just had this really gorgeous sort of rich flavor. And looking at Cátia's booze there, what I get is they're like the Buja chocolates. And you just need a little bit. You just need a little bit. You just want to try each flavor.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's
some sample.
Great inspiration there for us to. But we have never had a drinks cabinet, have we?
I think that's mainly because I'm very all or nothing.
Yes. And nothing can stake around long enough.
No. Like if I see a bottle and it's half opened, I just.
What's up with that?
I just think
sort that out.
Yeah. My attitude is, well, we're slacking. We need to keep drinking for the rest of the week. Like let's finish that bottle before we get a new one. But
okay, now I have
ridiculous.
I have a booze-related special announcement. Owen, this is fantastic news, my friend.
What's that?
Philomena Friday.
There he is, singing the jingle for tomorrow. We'll be joined by Philomena. But look at this. Morning GuMPer, says Owen, happy to announce on this boozy show in the new year, I'll be working with Electra Brewery. Now, they are in our directory. They are a fantastic brewery. And as the name suggests, they name their booze after after letters of the alphabet. Fusion food, a taste of the West Indies and Portugal on a plate served alongside their beers.
Wonderful. That's great news.
Yes,
Well done, Owen.
Mr. Lloyd Martin there, or Mr. Martin. I'm never sure if the Lloyd goes with the Martin or Owen Lloyd there. We did talk about that, and forgive me for not remembering that. But the point being there, fantastic news, bon dia, Owen. And congratulations coming in for you, Owen, from across the community. That's please, when that happens, send us pictures. And I think a few people would like to go to Porto for the rum distillery and gin distillery, and then pop along to the Letra Brewery as well. Are they in Aveiro or Porto, Owen, I wonder?
Do you know what? I wasn't the only one to miss Moaz. Look. Francis,
yeah, there you
I'm
go.
a serial looker, so I've missed seeing you.
Moaz was talking about your not interview, your conversation. There you go.
There we go.
I always feel good after your interviews with Rick.
Thank you very much, Moaz. And if anyone else would like to see it, then go along to my channel. I don't have as many subscribers as Carl now, or us.
Let's see what
GMP.
we can do about that. What is the link? What is the link people might go to?
I'll find it. It's
Bon
Luisa
dia,
Tanamanson.
Bairandi's in and gone, late up as late night picking sun up from his works do. Oh, isn't that fantastic? Dad taxi from the works do. See you on the catch up. See you then, Andy. Thank you so much for all you do for this community. Appreciate you too, mate. I think a few more comments coming in. Oh, this is lovely news as well. My husband Lewis and I are celebrating our 25th anniversary on the 9th.
Oh,
tomorrow. He's a keeper. After 25 years, that's good to know, isn't it? Love him to the moon and back. Oh, well done, you two.
That's magical.
And you were asking also how many dollars is liqueur a bottle in Portugal? Very reasonably priced, I think.
Yeah.
A Beirão is about 10 euros, I think. The Aguardente I bought the other day, not the best on the market, but I think that was about 12 euros. It's nothing like UK or US as far as I can make out. Simon was in, but now velo mais tarde, alligador. That's good, nice.
See you later, alligator.
And from Sarah, loving Oregonians loving Portugal. Happy anniversary!
Yeah.
It just keeps getting better, isn't that
that's beautiful.
Francis has had 2 4.5-hour outages today. No lightning. That's incredible, isn't it? And presumably with that sort of setup, you've learned to live with that in some way.
When I was in Bali, we used to have outages in big storms, and they could last anything up to 8 hours. I had a 2-day one once.
2-day outage.
Yeah,
then that becomes normality, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was the only 2-day outage I'd had in 9 months.
Right. Okay.
So it's not like every day, but
yeah.
Some
say
we had a second outage while I was uploading Lonnie's video last night.
Yes, that's
and I had to escape and abort it and start it all again.
Third time lucky though, right?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you're sounding a bit bassy.
Am I?
You are apparently. A production note coming in. Is your low pass filter
I've got 700 subscribers finally now.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I will. Thank you for that production note there, Randy. I will tweak Mrs. M's bottom end after the show. It's a promise. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. So it's neck and neck almost. 700.
Well, no, you've got 711. 11.
I think we both need to be helped to 1,000. Please tell all your friends. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if it was like an Immaculate Conception thing where we looked later on today and it was 1,000 on each of them? So
that would be very incredible.
Thank you, everybody, for all your help on that. Really appreciate you for that.
Actually, if you like astrology as well, I've just set up a new astrology channel.
By the way, you're pushing it now.
I've got 33. I started it a couple of weeks ago, and I've got 33 subscribers so far. But if you want,
magic number though, 33.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you do want good astrological advice or how to learn about astrology, then go to Feel Good Astrology on YouTube and subscribe.
Well, you have got your big bottom button on. I kid you not.
My big bottom button.
I'm looking at the audio processing here, and there is a setting for big bottom.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
I mean, people would pay a lot of money
How
for that,
rude.
wouldn't they? I'm turning it off now. I'm turning your big bottom off.
Okay.
Seeing if that's any better. Thank you, associate producer, top producer T-Duck. Great news. Congratulations, Owen. Congratulations, Owen, from the OLP as well. This is great news, mate. And congratulations, OLP. Congratulations all round. 25.
It's a really congratulatory day, isn't it?
It's a lovely vibe this morning. Slash that mic button. Thank you very much. And it's a lovely way to end the meal, isn't it? A liqueur. Thank you, lovely GuMPer community from the OLP. And the sad thing in South Africa, we have no structure. Sorry, we have to structure our lives around it, but it hits hard when it starts getting so much downtime. Yeah, mate, sounds awful. And there she goes. Yes, not unnoticed there, Mrs. Product Placement. Wear the t-shirt next time. And we had a 9-day power outage last February during a major ice storm in Oregon. Incredible. And on that cold note there, I think it's perhaps time to say goodbye. Oh no, it's not. It's Indie Portugal Thursday, where I like to play a little bit of indie music. And I did it in Portuguese. It's a quickie from the wonderful man who created our theme tune for Good Morning Portugal, Warren Charm, and he wrote a tune called I Did It in Portuguese, which I'll play out with today, wishing you a wonderful Immaculate Conception. And do practice that at home. A holiday today. So let's go tweak bottom ends, shall we? And Mrs. M, did you want to say anything?
No, that's fantastic.
Can't wait, right? Let's
end
the show. I'm going to go to. I'm wondering what to put on the screen. Let's go to the GuMPer gallery for this. I'll play the music with the GuMPer gallery on. We heard from Scoundrel Distillery as well, from Travis. Great to hear from him. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in on LinkedIn. You didn't have much choice because I'm just streaming there anyway. Let me change up the website, www.goodmorningportugal.com, to our GuMPer gallery. So you can look at some of the lovely pictures there, which I think I need to update soon. But there you go. I think you can see the GuMPer gallery, and we will play. There we go. We will play the tune now. And I wish you a very good holiday day here in Portugal. And we'll see you tomorrow with
Father Man of Friday.
Come on, I need to turn that up.
I did it in the Portuguese. 15 minutes per day to join the elite. Even tried it out on the street. Nothing like doing it in Portuguese. But no one laughed or scolded me. A waitress even brought me out a cup of tea. The Uber driver offered to show me nothing like doing it in Portuguese. So it's a shake, 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 the shake, rattle, roll. Oh, let the Portuguese down in my soul. Oh, shake, 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 the shake, rattle, roll. Let the Portuguese down in my soul. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.